Hi Capricorn, this is Chronic Joy Tarot. Thank you for being here. We're going to do your May general reading for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising, or whoever is guided to this video. This is for you. These are soul work videos. They're not really sort of, you know, they really just don't have anything to do with others. This is all about you, okay? It's all about your guidance. What aspect of yourself can you focus on at this time in order to continue your soul's growth? If you're new to my channel, thank you, welcome. And if you're returning, thank you as well. I was sort of MIA in April. I apologize for that. It was an extremely intense month with my day job. I got through it, and here I am. A little bit late in May, but I'm here, okay? Your oracle card, and if you're new to my channel, what we do is I pull one oracle to guide us toward a topic or a theme, something to focus on spiritually within ourselves, and then the Zen Tarot deck guides us into how to flesh that out. Okay, and the oracle is coming from this Crystal Wisdom Healing deck from Judy Hall. It's a new deck for me. I really love it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I could pull just one a day and get a lot of insight. The card I pulled for you, Capricorn, is the Smoky Quartz Celestial. And the meaning of this card, and there are many different ways to tap into. There's like a self-understanding, divination, frequency, chakra. The one that the aspect of the card that I'm looking at in this little booklet that comes with it is the one that guides toward the soul path, because that's kind of the nature of my whole channel. And the message for your soul path is total transmutation. This is talking about embracing your shadow, knowing that darkness is not evil, right? A lot of things stir beneath the surface that may seem real calm on the surface, but there's a lot going on. And you might need to, you know, dip down into that underworld or shadow side a little bit in order to release from old things that are holding you in place. This is all on a spiritual level. This isn't like, oh, you know, my mother-in-law holds me down and she thinks this of me and she's evil and she says dark evil things and I need to transform her or transform my relationship with her. This is about your spiritual journey. Those aspects of yourself that maybe you've hidden from others or from yourself because maybe they were too painful to deal with at the time. It's time now to embrace those and know that every occurrence that happens in your life is for your soul's growth. Everything. Frustrating situations, situations of anger, happy situations, big transitions. Those are all happening for your soul to continue to expand. Okay? The Zen Tarot spread I've done here for you guys is the flying bird. We have a point of liftoff, and then we go and take flight and come to a new level of awareness. The left side of the wing here is our internal influences, or possibly things that you've hidden, which really goes along with this oracle card. So we're going to pay close attention to those internal cards that maybe you're aware of, but others aren't. And then the right side is external manifestations, how things show up in your world or in your daily life. Okay, we have the point of liftoff here. This is where you are now. And that is conditioning. So this tells the story of the lion who grew up with a flock of sheep. Growing up thinking he was white and fluffy and just like everyone else, until one day he takes a drink in the pond and sees a lion looking back at him and is in shock for a minute, thinking, wow, I thought I looked white and fluffy all this time, and here I am looking like a lion. You know, what must others think? Because I've been going around thinking I'm a sheep, but they're seeing a lion, right? This has to do with, you know, the duality between who you really are, who you are deep in your deepest, truthiest space, if that's a word, and how you show up in the world, how your external self shows up, and how others receive you. There is a there's a gray area in there where some of that matches up, right? The way you see yourself is the way others see you. And there are some aspects of yourself that may have been buried, like this card, this smoky quartz card indicates, that are really hidden from others. And maybe it's time to go ahead and gently let some of that show up. Your angers, your hurts, your regrets. These are things that hold us from our progress. And by sort of being in touch with them and acknowledging them and embracing them and then releasing, we're able to move forward. We're able to, expand our soul. This card here in this position is an internal influence, and it's also called the fear of flying. So it is a possible block to your progress. And that is the totality card. That's the ability to stay focused in on this very moment. This is a really common theme that I've been pulling for all the signs so far, is staying in the moment. These acrobats here they must stay in the zone. They must stay in the moment or everyone will go falling down, right? No distractions. Stay. So as you're going to embrace some of these darker aspects of yourself, stay rooted in this moment now as well. Know that, yes, I'm diving maybe into my past a little bit and trying to release some old buried aspects of myself, but this moment now would not be if it weren't for some of those things, right? So just staying rooted in what is happening now as well. Sometimes when we go back into our memory and bring up old occurrences and old feelings, we go right back there. And it's difficult, sometimes to work through that because we bring ourselves right back into those moments when this is guiding you to within yourself when you're, having those conversations with yourself or those explorations, to really stay in the acknowledgement that I am here now, that like something that happened 20 years ago, sure, it affected me. And certainly I protected my heart by, burying it away for a while. But in this moment now, I can look out the window and see a blue sky. I can see the birds flying. I can hear my kids playing. This moment now is my reality. This is all that sort of, like Eckhart Tolle, the power of now. This is it, right? And those old feelings can be revisited, but you don't have to travel back to them. You can just bring them up, acknowledge them, and maybe hanging on to pain or guilt or regret. Maybe that's what kept you going, right? Until this point. But at this time, it's safe to release some of that and acknowledge that it brought you this far and that it's time to move on to new experiences and new ways of approaching things. Okay, all of that sort of internal investigation is going to result in your ability to trust what life brings you more and more and more. This is an external influence. This is this is how it shows up in your life. So working on excavating some of this old buried stuff by really staying rooted in now, but also knowing, maybe I have a lot of anger buried within me. Maybe I hold a lot of anger, but I don't have to be that angry person any longer. I don't have to, right? So just acknowledging that and letting some of that out and allowing yourself to take what life brings you and navigate with that it's going to create just a freer way of moving about your days. Okay, the next internal influence is the burden. So I'm feeling that for some of you, this sense of clinging to these old shadow sides is really taking its toll. It's taking its toll on your spirit, might be taking its toll on you physically, emotionally, but it's definitely beginning to indicate that, yeah, you know what? I don't have to retell those old stories anymore. I don't have to keep telling those stories. Let's just say you were a child of divorce and that posed a lot of problems for you as a child, and it created a sense of distrust in others. And maybe, I'm just making this up as I go. But that's been your story all your life. I'm a child of divorce and I don't trust anyone, right? This is something to explore, to investigate within you, and to know, well, right now, maybe before I was a child of divorce and I was that, I looked like that sheep. But the truth is, I'm the lion. The truth is, now, I'm not a child anymore. And perhaps the divorce brought along experiences for me that I never would have had. Maybe they were, quick, large obstacles that I came up against, but that taught me perseverance. That taught me to rise above. That taught me to become this person I am. So just, discontinuing those old stories will release some of that burden. Now, you're no longer a child of divorce. You are an adult willing to take on what life brings because you've learned how through your earlier experiences. So always in these shadow aspects of ourselves, we can find the gift. There's always a way. It's just whether you're willing to attune to it. Okay, and that leads us to our next external card, which is perfect. It's the integration. This is saying, these opposites exist, right? The yin, the yang, the eagle and the swan, the sun and the moon, right? And it all leads to the alchemy and the higher awareness that there's space for it all. There's room for all of that to exist in your life. Even if it was child of divorce and, extremely independent adult, those maybe seemingly opposite, wounded child and confident adult or whatever. But that there's room for it all. And it doesn't have to be clinging to, the or burying those old stories in order to feel like you're functioning properly. Those old stories brought you to this place, and integrating all of that in your world and making sure that you acknowledge every step along your journey is going to have a very, very profound effect on releasing some of this stuff. Okay, the last internal influence. Yeah, look at this burden, miser. It's time. It's time for you to release some of these things, even if it's just one little aspect that's buried within you, one little part of your shadow self. The miser holds everything for herself. She doesn't want to share. She doesn't want to open up. She doesn't want to give. You may be blocking beautiful miracles by holding on to some of this stuff. And yes, until a certain point in your life, hanging on to, or burying or hiding away some of these aspects of yourself has served you. And that's okay. That's fine to acknowledge. I'm just saying that the guidance here is suggesting that now's the time to go ahead and bring the light to those shadow aspects. Bring the light to it and see what happens. See if it dissipates. This stress card is your outcome. Now, what I'm saying is you've been trying for a long time maybe to hold it together, to keep it seems to be that there's a group of you or a handful of you that really have some strong deep aspects of yourself that are anchoring you and holding you in place. But what it's going to end up doing in your external world, if it hasn't already, is create a lot of stress, trying to hold it all together. Keep all those things in the air, whatever he's juggling, candles, and, you know, 3 legs bouncing on the balls and trying to play the music and being whatever he can be for everybody. But, you know, eventually the bubble's going to be popped by the little monkey. You're going down. No, I don't mean to make light of it, but this is that sort of very intense, very busy, very agitated sense of being that can be created if some of this excavating, some of this embracing of the shadow self, embracing of your past stories and releasing them and acknowledging that they brought you this far, and then allowing for this trust. This is like the big beam of light in this reading, is allowing yourself to trust life. Trust it. It's all there for you, right? This is kind of an intense reading for you, Capricorn, but I know you can deal with it. I know you can do it. So if there are some of those aspects of yourself that you are willing to take a look at and embrace and bring out to the light, you're supported. Okay? All right, you guys, I'm hoping very much that I can do another reading in May. It's not going to be like the last couple months, I promise. And I hope you enjoyed this reading. Thank you for your subscribes and your likes and the way that you engage with my channel. Check me out on Instagram if you'd like. It's Living Chronic Joy. And I do some little mini general videos there. Okay, I love you guys. Until next time, bye.